Hello friends, how are you all? Hope you are doing great at various aspects of your lives. Welcome to another podcast by Team ThinkerViews. It is rightly said that Mahabharat or Mahabharata is the greatest epic known to the mankind. Any kind of possible situation and relationship is found in it, in its simplest and complex most forms. It won't be wrong to say that every writer who grew up with ancient Indian literature told to him in various forms dreamed to write his or her version of Mahabharat. For example, late Harilal Upadhyay, a Gujarati author, has tried to stick to the original popular version of Mahabharat in his Mahabharat book series that is comprised of 7 books. Most importantly, in Bharatiya, that is Indian culture, such retellings and reimaginings are welcomed wholeheartedly. Traditionally, wise ancestors of Indians believed in conveying a message and let the learner interpret it as per situation and time he or she lives in at the very moment. Here are some other books based on Mahabharat we have got a chance to read recently and found them worth sharing with you all. Jaya, an illustrated retelling of the Mahabharata. Varpokshetra, Mahabharata in the MBA Yug by Deepak Kaul. Barbarika by Hariharan Raju. Ashwathama's Redemption, The Rise of Dandak by Kunchan Porwal. Bhimsen by Prem Panikkar, and so on. Adding to the list is a fantastic book titled The Accursed God, The Lost Epic, Book 1 by Vivek Dutta. Vivek works in the software industry and that doesn't stop him from writing books. As this book clearly says, it is book 1, we can surely expect more books in the series. Of course, we shouldn't consider the book cover as the only parameter to judge a book by, but we came to see it as the first attribute of the book and thus it is responsible for making the first impression of the same. A book cover can highly influence reading or purchase decisions for sure. Let us take a look at the cover page of this book. The title of the book is quite challenging to come up with a cover design. The job is done by Shrishti, a niece of the author, who is one of the early readers of the book, obviously. In fact, she has contributed some illustrations in the book as well. The dark to red to yellow to black shaded background shows the illustration of 3 prominent characters from Indian mythology. They are Lord Shiva, Bhagavan Parshuram, and Bhishma or Bhishma. The gestures explored in this illustration are meaningful and you came to know the significance when you read the book. In fact, by the time you came to read The Accursed God, it is around more than 60% of the book you have completed reading, and then you will realize whom the book refers so. The cover page is not very attractive but is loyal to the story. I will say a moderately good book cover. The book covers incidents from Jaya or Jay Samhita even much far before, since the well-known portion of the same, Mahabharat, starts depicting in most of the popular versions. You come to know about what led to the great battle of Kurukshetra, popularly known as Mahabharat War, through the mouth of one of the most prominent characters of this epic, who had seen many generations growing and dying in front of. Bhishma, the grand regent of Hastinapur, was on his deathbed, the bed of arrows, and Krishna paid him a visit. Krishna asked Bhishma to narrate the incidents where he was silent, and that is how he started telling it. Krishna kept visiting him for all the remaining days of the war to hear the course of events from him. It all starts with the tale of King Somrak of Panchal. Jantu was his son. It would be worth to note that Jantu's son was Prishta or Prishta, father of Drupad. King Somrak created a conspiracy to defame Shantanu, the king of Hastinapur, who was the emperor of Aryavarta at that time. He in fact created a group of kings of all vassal states to rebel against emperor. It was the first significant incident when Bhishma, then Devavrata, had to come into action. How he tackled the situation is nicely explored in the book. It was followed by his meeting with Vedvyas. Eventually, he convinced Dasaraj to allow his daughter Satyavati to marry King Shantanu, Devvrat's father, or as mentioned in the book, Devvrat's father. The book moves ahead and explores the incidents of how Chitrangad and Veer or Vichitraveer born and grew up. Chitrangad's killing is explored quite in detail. The incidents that happened after that led to Dhritarashtra's marriage with Gandhari and Pandu marrying Kunti and Madri. The chain of incidents is explored in 41 chapters where we meet many of the well-known characters from Mahabharata. The list includes but not limited to Vedvyas, Devbrata, Somark, Jantu, Prishta or Prishat, Drupada, Singhvarma, Chitrangad, Gorkhas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, Trishala, Subalja, Chhatrasal, Shakti Swarup, Drupad, Devki, Vasudev, Jarasandh, Ugrasen, Devak, Sini, Sursen, Sangini, Shridhvaj, Bhagavan Parshuram and others. I must say, this is one of the most interesting retellings and reimagining of Mahabharat I got a chance to read for sure. Of course, it has its positives and unfortunately letdowns too. Before we continue, let me share with you that we have got the ARC or Advanced Review Copy e-book version of this book, and the author has confirmed that there might be some proofreading errors in this version. The review is personal, unbiased and uninfluenced by all means. As always, the way the author has explored the characters and revealed their shades is interesting. I consider it as one of the most positive points of the book. Be it the character of Bhishma or even Jarasandh, the way the author explores them is amazing. In most of the tellings and retellings, the death of Chitrangad, the eldest son of Satyavati, is referred to merely as he met with his death when fighting with a Yaksha king of the same name. The book has a detailed narration, of course fictional but logical, of those incidents. In fact, the kingdom of Panchal also didn't explore in so depth in most of the alternative popular versions. Also, the author has decided to go rational and logical way rather than superficial, and thus you see more of a reasoning in his narration. That makes the book quite interesting. The book is actually a fictional conversation between Krishna and Bhishma, and I must say, it is a fantastic one. The way both of them talk, share funny moments, share sadness and other emotions is amazing to read. Especially the way Krishna convinced Bhishma to share his tale of silence and reveal why the war of Mahabharat was not just a family feud, why otherwise entire Aryavarta would have joined it. No matter what we say today, someone will alter and distort it tomorrow. Then Pitama, we need an alternative narrative. Your narrative. The same way the conversation between Parshuram and Sahasrarjun is amazing. It explores a lot about various mindsets and why they need to rectify. The best indicator of a society's success can be traced to its beggars. A society where people beg because they are denied sufficient opportunity to earn, or they beg because the government takes pride in feeding them, is a big question mark on the social structure. But we created a contrary doctrine, begging by the highest order of the society. We denied ourselves, the teachers, the scholars, the yogis, and the legislatures, from any personal possessions and resorted to begging. Begging not because we are not capable of earning, not because we desist hard work, but because begging gave us the humility and the selfless attitude needed to create the rule for the general good of the society. We who are capable of earning everything, if we allow ourselves to reign free, we can amass power and wealth, and that would be an injustice to others. I found the conversation about Vishnu's chakra and why it was taken from him, why he needed to pray to Lord Shiva to get it back, the consequences of karma, the cosmic rules, the Vaishnavite Shaivite conflict, the concept of penance, and why even God himself needs to attain it is explored very amazingly. The book contains some fantastic one-liners. Here are some of them. But forever doesn't last forever. Strange is the way of humans. Hope, many times, is a fooling beast. True wisdom comes with age and faster in times of crisis. Anything that is not perfect is essentially imperfect. Prayer and weapons, both are for brave. A coward is suited for neither. Krishna's smiles were his weapons and sometimes shield. A pack of super excited hyenas can't protect you against a lion. But wandering far off, even on the right track, is no better than taking a wrong path. What we want to believe is destiny. What we don't want to is superstition, isn't it? Here are some more interesting lines I found in the book. Leaders are not elected, Vasudev. Leadership is not given. It's always taken. Once you take the leadership, people accept. That's how it is. Anyone who dares to protect is the Vishnu. I am the disciple of Nilakantha Shiva. I am ready to swallow poison and lead a cursed life. Even the horse now know the exact path that leads them to Dev Udayan. You should be careful about what you wish for. Wise people don't kick the beehive. If you need to live in peace, you need to destroy the beehive, because you would not escape the stung even if someone else kicks it. Prince wasn't sure whether to condemn his father's ruthlessness or salute his love for his motherland. Life isn't black and white, princess. It carries different colors and zillions of shades of them. Right and wrong too is colorful rather than just black and white. Luxury is a great thing. Rendezvous with flattery and luxury boost one's confidence like nothing else. And the fear of losing them forever make men braver than they are. Truth is not dharma pitama. Unlike dharma, the truth is not universal. It varies with people and milieu. I was determined to write the destiny myself, and to think of it, it's as easy as spawning a tale for a kid. If you know a little of Shastras, the entire Aryavart listens like a dumb kid. Look at Maheshwar, the destroyer. He destroys to protect. Think, isn't it creation require the destruction of current shape? Can the plants grow without destroying the upper crust of the earth? Can you create clothes without destroying trees? Can a creation survive without preservation? No, Ram. Creation, preservation and destruction are not three different elements. They are the essence of the universe. They are inseparable. Each quote has its own perspective and meaning, and I would suggest you to explore your vision for the same. If you ask me to settle down with just one quote from the book, then I will quote the following phrase which I found really amazing. Might win. For any flight, takeoff and landing are the two most essential stages. They show the skills of the pilot. The smoother these phases are, the better under control the aircraft is. Unfortunately, the takeoff for this book is quite confusing and clumsy. Especially for the regular reader, it will be challenging to understand what is happening. Of course, after reading a few chapters, you will find the things getting smoother. According to me, a list of the prime characters and their roles should have been listed in the beginning of the book. It would have been better reading experience. It happens in India that based on the place the person grew up, the local linguistics affect his version of names and places. So I cannot complain that the words like Devabrata, or Aswamegh should have different spelling. However, there are words which must have been written in the correct manner, as in most of the cases it changes the meaning. For example, Dryut Krida, Yojan Danda, Udayan. Such things matter a lot, especially when your target readership is global. Another disappointing thing I found in the book is the lack of uniformity when mentioning names and places. It is a different thing that you call him Bhishma or Bhishma or Bhishma or Bhisma. But whatever word you use should have to be the same throughout. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, like if the people from different ethnicities referring to the same person with a different version of his name, then it is fine. Here is a list of some names that is referred to differently, sometimes even on the same page. Vashu, Vasu, Ambika Bhatt, Ambika Bhatt, Sahasrarjun, Sahasrarjun, Bhishma, Bhishma, Veda, Ved, Somadatta, Somadatta, Swayambar, Swayambar, Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra, Devki, Devaki, Kansha, Kansa, Satrughna, Shatrughna, Mathura, Mathura. Here are some lines where you pick proofreading errors and wish they could have been edited better. Aryavarta runs after Vedas and Dharma blindly, son. What once was a great and prosperous kingdom, now on the brink of being bankrupt. That day there was a room full. If he insists on duties of war, we will give him the war and force the duties on him, and the whole of Hastinapur would pay for his inexperience. You must protect from elements from destruction, and other times you must destroy to protect. Chhatrashal reported Prishat too was adorable. How foolish I was, I thought my family will be my guarding angel. Sadanandji himself prayed Vishwanathji to bestow his kindness. These above mentioned quotes must have given you a fair idea about the linguistics and quality of writing in the book. The reimagining by Vivek is interesting, and he has the power to pen down his imagination in a fantastic way. Personally, I like the book a lot for its quality. His reimagining remains faithful to the most popular narrative, and yet it brings freshness. The author is here to stay and deliver some fantastic mythology retellings for sure. So, in summary, if proofreading errors were not there and the starting was better, the book could have been a masterpiece. It is nonetheless a fantastic retelling of Mahabharat with freshness in narration, exploration of untouched or rarely touched part of the epic. A must read for mythology lovers. ThinkerViews rating around 7 to 7.5 stars out of 10. So, have you already read the book? Are you planning to read it? What do you think about this book review? Do you find it helpful in deciding whether to go for the book or not? Please do share your genuine remarks via comments below. If you have enjoyed listening to the review, please hit the like button and do not forget to share it with your friends and other fellows whom you think such reviews interest more. Till we meet with our next podcast, bye bye, take care, namaskar.